Oh boy.
20 years, buddy. More than that. Oh my God.
Hello everybody. Welcome to Torn Tuesday. We're at someplace special, aren't we, Cliff?
We're at someone.
We're at someone.
We're at a place, not a person. We're at a place that is remarkably cool. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Nice to have you here. This is Torn Tuesday, yet again. It's theonering.net coming to you live, all the way from across the universe in Thousand Oaks, California. Oh boy, I didn't pack enough of a bag lunch to get this far on my journey. I took one step further, and it's the furthest away from Los Angeles that I've ever been.
That's Camarillo.
We are joined by the estimable team of people who helped make this show happen, and one of the people actually makes theonering.net really happen.
That's right.
Come on in into the frame. Oh, there you are. Hey,
there it is.
Hello, everybody. This is Chris Parada.
I'm Justin
Sewell, and I am Clifford Broadway, and you are here with us at theonering.net. Welcome aboard, everybody.
I see Will Zone in the chat room. Andrew K, Candace, Will I am Bo. Nice. Shout out to Totoro. Andrew.
Yes, shout out to Totoro. He's my neighbor, you know.
We're not the Three Stooges.
He's my neighbor.
Although some of the things we say are very humorous sometimes.
I'm not texting. Don't mind me.
We're at Sideshow, and I guess, is it a secret? It's not a secret anymore. Your relationship
With Sideshow?
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't think so.
So, Chris, you've seen Chris recently on our Cannes reunion with Mark Ordesky, Rick Porce, Tim Gray from Variety. Chris is the co-owner and co-founder of the OneRing.net. He went to Cannes, which everyone's talking about this week. There's articles about Cannes. And then we had you on a week or two ago with the Founders Reunion.
Yeah, which was pretty awesome.
Wasn't that great to catch up with everybody?
Yep.
But no one makes money off Torn. So your day job is literally
working at Sideshow. I'm the VP of marketing for Sideshow.
And let's repeat that because it bears repeating. We don't make any money off of anybody, just that y'all know that. I just filled out my paperwork for the Emergency Renters Assistance Program because of all those big checks that I'm getting from Amazon Studios.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Twitter thinks you're getting paid.
You're getting paid?
Twitter thinks Twitter, or people on Twitter who certainly know more about it than I do, people are telling me, how much I'm in the back pocket and how much I'm getting paid by Amazon to push their agenda for this TV show. And I'm still waiting.
How much are you, Ken?
Waiting on those checks.
You're supposed to report that to the One Ring at least.
Am I
some capacity?
That I'm making all that money on the side? Yeah, I should be reporting.
30%, the Apple tax, right? 30%?
Good grief. Yeah, so anyways, we just want to say this once more for the clarity of the historical record. We're an all-volunteer website.
Yep.
Always have been, always will be. We don't sell ads presently, although we have in the past. We just pay for our server, and then that's it. There's no back end, no deals, and nobody's paying me a big fat check. So, hello everybody, welcome to the show. Now, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, we're going to talk about the chat.
Secrets to be revealed?
We've got secrets, but in the chat room...
We've got other things,
in the chat room, we've got Princess Toy Nerd. We've got Jeff Scott from New Zealand. Hello, New Zealand. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh my gosh, Jeff. Hello, Jeff. He's down there in Dunedin. Hello, Jeff Scott. Are you still down there in Dunedin? I love New Zealand. I can't wait to come back.
Is it
to see you
Dunedin
guys.
or Dunedin?
It's Dunedin, I know.
Wait,
it does feel like Dunedin.
Are you listening, Amazon?
That does feel like that when you say the word. That's in New Zealand, yes.
My gosh. And also, it looks like Endor is tuning in. A guy named Guy Klender is tuning in.
Has anyone ever heard of Guy Klender?
This guy pops in only when you're on the show. It's so weird. You got fanboys.
Hi, Guy.
Hello.
Hi, Guy.
No, I know Guy. Guy's actually a very important team member here at Sideshow as well. He's one of our hosts.
That's true. That's true. They do a lot of great live streams here at Sideshow Collectibles.
Yeah, Unsealed and Revealed. Is this where I start plugging them all?
We need to...
Yeah.
I'm going to say hi, Princess Toy Nerd, and hello to Pipsky, and to your beautiful...
And Josh Long. Speaking of collectibles...
Beautiful kitty cat.
Is here?
Josh is in the chat room.
I also wanted to say hi to the cat. Hi, Josh, but I'm going to say hi to Pippin, who is Pipsky's beautiful cat.
You know,
I got a new cat. I rescued a kitty cat just last week.
I
actually.
saw, and you're
Yeah.
so offended that I didn't come up and say hello.
You
to the
didn't come
cat.
say the hello to the cat, so to hell with you. To hell with
yes.
to hell with you.
Well, in the chat room, Josh Long, our collectibles editor, longtime
Yes.
collectible editor
Josh.
at the
Collecting the
Wandering,
Precious.
Collecting the Precious, who last week on the show announced that he's going to start uploading videos and make a video series out of Collecting the Precious. I guess this would be a good time as long as he's in here in the chat. I don't think people know what we're looking at. Maybe I should pan the camera around.
Oh well, let's
gosh.
just can I frame a couple things here quick?
Gosh, yeah, here.
Let's just frame it before you do that. Before you pan.
He's
let's
gonna move.
frame-
He's gonna move the camera.
So we are normally I work remotely out of the East Coast. I happen to be in LA this week for meetings.
Living here in Allentown.
Exactly.
Right.
And I happen to be in LA this week.
We're gonna get copyright tagged for that Billy Joel song.
But what is interesting, Sideshow is a really cool campus. We have a lot of cool buildings, a lot of cool stuff. We're preparing for our Sideshow Con, which is next week. It coincides with Sideshow with San Diego at home.
So it's all
And
live streaming.
It's all live streaming and special shows and competitions and exclusive reveals and products and all kinds of fun stuff. If you ever visited a Sideshow booth at any of the shows before, it's basically that, but in a virtual form in this modern pandemic or post-pandemic age. So you can go to side.show/con to learn all about that. But we are in one of the coolest rooms in the buildings. It is called the Hot Toys Conference Room. If you're familiar with Hot Toys, they are an amazing manufacturer of high-end 6-scale figures. In this room, there are a lot of figures. So Justin, if you wanted to just take a moment to show them where we are, I think the audience will be slightly impressed.
I'm uploading a video now.
This is essentially a historical record of the Hot Toys company. You'll see everything in here from Jack Sparrow to every version of an Avenger that you could possibly want, to Ripley from Alien and Suicide Squad and Star Wars and Stan Lee. Check out the cool Stan Lee
where's
right in the
Stan?
middle.
Stan is sitting in the director's chair right in front of Thanos.
Yeah,
right
right
there.
in front of Thanos.
That's awesome.
This is the Hot Toys conference room. It's one of the cooler rooms because you can just sit here and look at the Michael Keaton Batman down there on the top, on the bottom level, right next to the classic Batman.
I love it.
Feels like we should get the chairs out of the way to show you. But anyway, Sideshow is sort of like a Disneyland for, and then it then we had the Oscar party, and we put it
that's
at the
right.
Oscar party. It was behind,
That's
it was
right.
where the projector was. And then after that, it was abused, just like Cliff is abusing it now. And unfortunately, we had to cut it back. So we only have the head left.
You can.
And the current head sits in my temporary office here in LA.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
That's where it lives.
Well, you can pick your trolls and you can pick your nose, but you cannot pick your troll's nose.
Or the cave troll's nose.
The cave. Oh, by the way, cave troll.
Yeah.
A word that they're evidently not allowed to use in the new Amazon Studios series.
Wait, is this new? Is this gossip?
This is new. This is gossip. This is gossip.
Green
but
Dragon gossip.
We're already moving over to the Green Dragon gossip section of the show.
Really? Can't say cave troll?
There are New Line Cinema words and names, and they're not allowed to use them in the Amazon series because I've just been hearing recently some little interesting reports from people saying that this is very exciting. Every day, the lawyers are working on licensing more bits and bobs from published works of J.R.R. Tolkien. However, the terms of the deal is that New Line Cinema still has access to the Lord of the Rings names and places. Some of them Amazon cannot use.
That's a little interesting because
is weird.
Isn't cave troll a fantasy term? Is it a Tolkien generated term?
Well,
Tolkien did create the word orc.
Yes, we know that.
So
But I don't think cave troll
they
would qualify.
in the public consciousness, this goes into copyright and licensing, right? But like in the movie trailers, it was like they have a cave troll.
Yeah.
That was like the first thing we saw.
Yeah, that's
right.
so good.
It is.
It's still so good.
It's still so good.
It's a famous piece of dialogue from the New Line films. So, what's exciting, and I'm going to get to that in just one second. What's really exciting, it has to be tempered by what is legally weird. So we're having a conversation about what's exciting and what is legally weird, and I want to talk about the weird part first. Amazon Studios, have access allegedly, from what I'm hearing, although rumors are swirling, and let's put this under the category of pretty good rumors. But all these little birdies are landing on my windowsill telling me that they have access to some sections of the Silmarillion. So legit, the lawyers have got agreements with the Tolkien family, the Tolkien estate, that Amazon Studios can use some of the material at the back of the Silmarillion that covers the Akalabeth, Numenor, and of course lots of conversations about of the Rings of Power and the Third Age, which everybody knows is at the end of the book.
That's right.
However, there's still some weird bits that were used by Peter Jackson in his 6 films, and they cannot use those terms in Amazon Studios' new series. So there's some back and forth. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, and every day the landscape changes with new licensing efforts that are made by the legal department. So that's what I've been hearing in the rumors department
Interesting.
about the series. Yeah.
Oh, that's surprising.
It probably sets to rest, for the very first time ever, it sets to rest all of this conjecture that we've had for a long, long time, over a year now, about what materials from the books they can license, including the appendices at the back of The Return of the King, or other material. And now we have our first confirmations, even though it's still not in black and white. This is still rumor. The Green Dragon gossip is still a rumor, but it's a strong rumor, and I'm going to stand on that rumor and plant my flag on it, that we are getting confirmations that certain stuff from the Silmarillion, not all of it, but some content from the Silmarillion has been licensed from the Tolkien estate by Amazon Studios. And yet still, there's problematic words like cave troll. That's a problematic
I would
word.
have never expected that.
Which is why they ended up with a frost troll. That's why we see the
Frost
set
troll.
of this big set piece.
Remember the set piece?
The set piece, they had that exterior set of the glacial frost wall. So evidently there's rumors of a frost troll. Those are the rumors we're hearing. So file all this away into unconfirmed rumors, but as usual, you heard it here first.
This
on
track,
theonering.net.
This tracks. It's because what we've heard early on was that Amazon paid the Tolkien estate for all the rights in Lord of the Rings and the appendices and anything else that they could negotiate with the Tolkien estate. But the starting point was everything in the appendices.
And that's a lot of stuff, and that covers a lot of history.
And included in that original press release was they wanted to build upon what had come before. And so the original intent was maybe Amazon can play nice with Warner Brothers, but as we've seen recently with the announcement of the War of the Rohirrim anime, it looks like Warner Brothers has staked its claim, held onto its rights of films, and they're not going to play nice with Amazon at all.
Oh, and that has led to them wanting to make an anime film.
Yeah.
The War of the Rohirrim, because they still have existing rights in that 6-film universe. And Amazon has some different rights. So throughout the coming weeks and months, we will be discussing all of this in more detail here at theonering.net as we learn more details. Go, Chris.
I was just gonna say, can they make like a cool kid show, like based on hobbits or something? Because
That's what we keep talking with Molly Ostertag.
Yeah.
Like
a cool animated kid show, like sort of like the Gummy Bears of the '90s, but like with hobbits.
You're the only one here with kids. Do you think kids really need Tolkien in their life?
Do you have something to smack him with?
I always have something to smack him with.
Look, Tolkien is an adult story for adults, written by adults.
The Hobbit is a kid's
The
book.
Silmarillion, the stories of the
The
Akalabeth?
Hobbit is a kid's book.
The Hobbit is, but a lot of his other stories are not.
Yeah, but that's why you base it in Hobbiton. You have a bunch of happy hobbits.
Well, imagine, let's go back to something I've said before on a previous live stream. This is not a monolithic single TV series. Consider Amazon's efforts as a pyramid. The top of the pyramid, the capstone, if you will, is their big 5-season series of Second Age. Under that is other strata of other shows, other ideas, other other shows on the side. Okay,
Yep.
and that might include other animated series, and then other video games and other
but I don't want
projects.
animated in-
And then there will be other published kids' books and art books, and all these strata going down the pyramid will get wider and wider and cover more things and projects and other stuff, including what we don't know is what we don't know. And I keep saying that. But what about augmented reality storytelling, VR storytelling? All of it
for adults.
It could all
That
be
sounds like adults.
it could all be under the purview of Amazon Studios' existing gambit to get more licensing for more stories, and they could create any other TV series or standalone projects as they will. We'll see what happens.
Based on what I just realized, based on what you just said, that they couldn't use cave trolls, they had to call them frost trolls. And
if the rumors are true, it's because the licensing hasn't been ironed out yet.
that means
That's
that
interesting to me.
the story of Helm Hammerhand could not be told by Amazon because he's mentioned
Exactly.
in the Two Towers.
Exactly.
The Horn of Helm Hammerhand, so the sound
When
in
does
the
this
deep.
show come out again? The Amazon show?
Next year.
The summer?
Next year, you'll find out at the One Ring Comic Con panel. We'll be streaming next weekend. They've just
no
published
one's
the
no
schedule.
one, no one's just no. We're not live. Just tell me.
What?
Tell me now.
Well, reshoots. That's all I have to say. Reshoots right now.
What? Oh.
Recasting and reshoots.
I'm interested. Is Josh still here?
Josh just had to leave.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Josh. Bye,
Yeah.
Josh.
I'm interested. Can we talk collecting a little bit?
Yes, that's why
absolutely.
we're here. We're at Sideshow Collectibles, and Chris, you're not going to believe this. I do want to talk about collecting because I found the earliest photos of the earliest
Pieces,
figures
Yeah.
from.
Actually, you should have told me. I have this all on those CDs. I could have pulled up all the old stuff.
Well, check this out,
He's got some
everyone.
stuff here.
This is the first Sideshow booth that we saw at Comic Con. This is the first
Yeah.
Sideshow.
Let's be clear. Sideshow Weta. This was Sideshow Weta.
Well,
at
you
the time.
explain that.
At the
What do you mean Sideshow Weta?
Well, Sideshow Weta was obviously the production, making these things, and Sideshow teamed up with them to release these series of statues. So,
That was a collaborative partnership that
Correct.
lasted how long?
for a while,
Yeah,
it was a good 5-6 years. It was pretty cool. It was a good time. And then we, eventually parted ways, and Weta continues today, and Sideshow continues today, and there's still great collectibles. And what's even cooler now is you have many different manufacturers in the Lord of the Rings space. You have Prime One Studio. You have, oh my gosh, Asmus Toys
That's
making
right.
the 6-scale figures. You have Weta again doing like those mini ones they do. I forget what they're called.
Epics, the mini
the
epics.
mini epics, and they, there's such a thriving business for Lord of the Rings still. And what's cool with Sideshow is we've changed strategy a little bit. We actually carry a bunch of that stuff for other
Did you?
companies.
So these helms that were made, I remember a lot of my
Yes.
friends had these.
Yeah.
They were 6 scale.
No, I think they were just quarter scale. No, they might have been quarter scale actually, if I remember correctly. But yeah, a lot of the environments, a lot of these, pieces, were meant to be displayed just like that, like in a little mini collection. I series. I think there was series up to 6. I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it was really cool. And then my favorite was Bill the Pony, which actually is in the other building I saw. Bill the Pony.
Yes.
With Sam.
Yeah, I love that one.
There's
That's
the
a good one.
Balrog. There's so many good pieces. I have actually a very interesting prototype of the Argonath, which was made as the DVD gift set, right? But it was actually from an environment that Weta later released, actually. But I have the original prototype from like 2002, like that was made when that was conceived. Now Weta didn't release that until like 2013 or something.
Yeah.
But I have the prototype at home, which is pretty cool.
Roy in the chat room says I have a lot of these environments.
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah, the
absolutely.
environments.
We've got on screen right now these medallions.
Yeah, the
there
medallion
were a lot
program.
of explain the medallion program. 'Cause
I
there were a
have
lot
all
of
them. They were little. You meant to mount them on a wall, so they all hung on a wall, and there was a series. Gosh, I don't remember how many, 24 or something like that. And then there was an extra one. We did a lot of things with the helms you were looking at earlier. There was like the.
Why do the
LSR
bases
helm.
look like chess pieces?
That was just the There was an attempt to do a classical style.
Oh my gosh, look at this. This is a photo of the Weta team at the Sideshow Weta booth.
Yep, way back in the day.
This is before you had that giant booth footprint with the hanging
Yep,
banners.
Yep.
How big was this booth? Was it like 2 spaces?
No, it was probably about 20 by 20, and yeah, probably like around there, or maybe a little bigger.
Wow.
It's so. Am I in that picture? No. I
You've
don't think
got,
so.
I think this is the Weta team. You've got Richard in the middle, Daniel
There's
Falconer.
Daniel.
Is that David?
Yes, that's David.
Yeah.
And then you've got, gosh, who else do you have? I don't recognize. Oh, there's Tanya.
I can't see the picture, but yeah, the
It's so this was before Weta had their own booth.
And it was certainly before the films were released,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So what you folks are looking at is like before the unbelievable hype and the explosion of popularity of the Fellowship of the Ring. So you could say that was Comic-Con at a moment of the calm before the storm.
Yes.
basically.
Oh, the date on I'm looking at the photo here at the bottom right. It says 7/22/2001.
Yep.
Oh my, that is too
Was
So it's
this-
right before the movie release.
literally 20 years ago, just about 6 months before the release of the film.
It was like
Maybe
literally
five-
next
5
week.
months.
Next week,
Here,
20 years
I'm,
ago.
I'm apologize to be looking at my phone, but I can't see the screen over there, so I'm looking at it. Yeah, you have a bunch of Sideshow folks. You have, a lot of the old guard of Sideshow there, and a lot of the old guard of Weta.
So, and has anyone in the chat room been to San Diego Comic-Con and seen both Sideshow's booth and Weta's booth? They're massive. I mean, there was a full-scale Smaug robot head
For the Weta booth.
for the
yeah.
Weta booth for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And Sideshow's booth is one of the biggest on the floor now.
Yeah,
Like-
not in the last 2 years, but yes.
Well, yeah, no one's had a booth for
But
2
yeah,
years.
no, we pride ourselves on showing pretty much everything from every license in the gigantic 100-foot or 100. Yeah, it's a big booth. I think we were voted. Sideshow was voted the best booth in the best booth at a Comic-Con, and then also the best meeting point
Huh.
at Comic-Con.
The best meeting point.
because it was easiest to go to the Sideshow booth.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
All right, so explain. We've got a couple more of the medallions here. Now, how big were these medallions?
That was a subscription program, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in a way, but you could pick them up. Some of them are really rare, like very small quantities were made.
Uh-huh.
I found Josh, if he was still here, I actually had sent him one and it broke on the way.
Oh
It
no.
was one of the more rare ones.
Oh no.
Yeah, I felt really bad about that. But
Oh,
there was,
jeez.
I think it was the Balrog one, or maybe even.
Oh yeah, the Balrog one is a rarer one.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a couple. I have all these old press sheets. I should have sent them to you before this.
Oh, we can do a whole.
This
article
guy I
on
have
them.
at home. I definitely have that guy. He's very popular.
From the Facebook live chat, does Chris own all of these now? Do you?
I used to own all of Series 1 and 2. Back in the day, you could sell them for quite a pretty penny, and I did fund some. Like part of my wedding was funded by Sideshow Weta statues.
Well, it's interesting. What was it? A couple years ago, we did an audit of the state of Lord of the Rings collectibles, and we found that more than Star Wars and more than Marvel, Lord of the Rings collectibles have not only almost all held their value,
Yeah.
they've all increased their value.
In current times, it's a little different, slightly different now.
Yeah, well,
There's that-
the pandemic has
Well,
reset expectations.
The Balrog used to sell for somewhere around $3,000 to $5,000.
Yeah,
That large
That-
full scale.
Right, and that was $300 when we made it.
and that was expensive because I was
Right,
a
that was
broke
expensive.
college kid. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'll never afford anything
and
like that.
you know, if you can find one with an intact whip,
Oh, because it likes to
yeah,
break.
it's a very fragile piece. And back then,
Yes.
production tools and materials were fragile material.
Yes.
So it's something like the child that we released last year, like the Baby Yoda,
Baby Yoda? Yeah.
child piece. It's no longer fragile material. Like you're okay to like move it around. Whereas these original pieces and these original lineups were polystone, and you nicked it or walked by Sauron's helmet and accidentally just swiped it, it would snap off. So you had to be really careful. And so to get intact pieces is very rare. And in fact, I found in my garage the other day, cleaning the garage, a Witch King of Angmar, huge, the guy with the big whip, in the box, mint. Like, I haven't even opened it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
From forever ago.
Wow.
With the mace, you mean?
Yeah.
With that big mace.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's a Morning Star.
I don't remember
That
that.
weapon.
Yeah.
The weapon that the Witch King has against Eowyn is a Morning
Well,
Star.
I remember a lot of people
A
had
particular
these
kind.
had these medallions
wanna
because they
know
were
why?
affordable.
You want to know why they had them? Because we put them in every gift bag for every Oscar party. So
Really?
Everybody who went to an Oscar party got one of those for free, especially that one.
This
That
one says Medallion number 1,
Yep.
January '02 release.
Yep.
So this was the first time, I believe, seeing this at Comic-Con preview and in all the magazines. I believe this is the first time we had seen a detail of these
The
orcs,
yeah,
because
yeah,
the trailers didn't really show the orcs.
Well, here's a fun fact. I have my job at Sideshow because of the One Ring.
because of the One Ring.
Correct. Because the One Ring was so significantly inspired so many sales of the Sideshow Weta statues that the affiliate program, which if you're not familiar with the affiliate program, is if a website sends a link to a company and a sale is produced, the website gets a percentage of that sale. So the One Ring, to cover costs at that time, we were a very popular website with
the
very
server
heavy
costs,
server
yeah.
costs, was an affiliate. And we would promote these items and earn money to afford the affiliate server.
Yeah.
That was so significant that a company like Sideshow was like, oh my gosh, this website's sending us a bunch of stuff. Let's meet and see if we could arrange some special arrangement. Turns out, the special arrangement was, why don't we just hire Chris, the webmaster of the One Ring, and you could be the webmaster of Sideshow too. So that was I'm coming up on 20 years now at Sideshow.
What?
And that will be
Isn't that fantastic?
Christmas Eve was my first day at Sideshow. Christmas Eve of 2000.
So when these debuted at Comic-Con,
Wow.
you weren't at Sideshow.
No.
You were a fan. And you were you at Comic-Con?
No, I had never gone to Comic-Con.
Yeah. Cliff was there.
Yeah, I had never gone to Comic-Con.
Jeff Scott said, I had that first medallion, but I gave it away. Drat.
Well, the
Double
medallion.
drat.
Well, don't double drat too much because the number one medallion is very common.
Yeah,
There was
very common.
I think all of the medallions were limited to 10,000 pieces, but whether those are actually got produced is another question. So when you look at some of the rarer ones, they weren't produced in that quantity.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
but I'm pretty sure the medallion number 1 was produced in that similar, like that number. But we, like I said, the One Ring gave those to everybody.
Yeah, those and that made it look that made those party bags look awesome. Why did the medallions stop? Because they're just so convenient to collect and easy to display. You don't need a shelf.
Yeah, it's in the industry of you have to the artists have to be inspired to make what they're making. Right. So that program probably, I mean, I think it was a good. I don't think it stopped. I think it ran its course. Like it had like 24. Like there was a bunch of medallions. So it's not that it stopped. It's just there was only so many medallions you can make with interesting and popular characters.
Indeed. Now, taking a point, a very, very excellent point from Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. That was not a Morning Star. In the book, it was a mace, but in the film, it is a flail.
Yeah,
A flail. Authentic Morning Stars do not have chains. They're basically a spiked mace with a bulbous head. Andrew, we need to sit down and play D&D because you would definitely be the best dungeon master and you would get all the details right on the lore and the weapons and the attack bonuses on those weapons. I'm sure you would get it perfectly right.
It's
I'm grateful for that. That's good to know. Thank you.
What's cool about the Sideshow wedding line, by the way, you're looking at the newborn Urk High.
Yeah.
And they were not afraid, the artist team at Weta and the design team at Sideshow were not afraid to do some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
And here is Cliff, if you guys can believe it. This is
Comic-Con.
Cliff Broadway logging into the website at the hotel at Comic-Con to upload these photos
you know what?
because it
This
wasn't easy.
This
Yes.
makes me hungry for vanilla wafers.
That's right. That makes me hungry for growing my hair back, instead of shaving it all off.
Well, can you explain a little bit
I
of
want blue hair again. I want blue hair again.
how did
I want it.
what was the process of getting this stuff up on the One Ring? What was it like? We got people at Comic-Con. Do we need to get this up fast?
Always. It was always
And there's no one has a digital camera. As you saw, there were these are scans of
No, they had
prints.
digital camera. No, we had digital. We had those Apple ones. Remember those really crazy ones that were like this that were.
I remember
with
I
an
had
SD chip inside.
No, the SD hadn't existed in 2001 because I had a Sony with a floppy disk.
No, the Apple
yeah.
ones were like this crazy shaped one that I worked at Penn State at the time, and so I could borrow these cameras to bring to events, but yeah, today 20 years later.
Mac still looks like Mac, by the way. I gotta say.
Yeah,
like
20 years later, though, let me just explain something. It is so much easier. People are so spoiled with the ability to just, I'm going to do this in a moment's notice. Whereas before the whole dial-up and the whole hoping the hotel had internet. And
internet was a thing.
It was just like those jokes in the movie Captain Marvel when they're back in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that, kids.
We were there.
You kids don't remember, and I'm so glad that MC, the Marvel Studios.
Where's Captain Marvel? She's up there somewhere.
Is she up there somewhere? I'm so glad that the MCEU clarified for those who have failed memories of what the internet was
I
like
gotta show you
in the late 90s, early 2000s, because that's exactly what it was like.
I
can't take him down. He's too fragile.
He's too fragile.
Loki.
So we got a beautiful Loki. I wanted to pause on this. Chris, they said you got hired because to work on the website, but here is an order form from a magazine.
Yes.
on call the 800 number or fill out this card. Is that how people were buying collectibles?
Yeah. When
Lord of the Rings came out?
When I started, the e-commerce wasn't a thing.
It wasn't?
Not like
now.
Not like now. And yeah, people would call in, fax in orders. We had faxing forms forever.
Fax machines, look it up.
Yeah.
I just love that there's an 800 number to order my Lord of the Rings medallion.
Yeah, people still call in order.
That's really quite funny.
There's services, there's apps where you can get like your own 800 number and stuff.
Well,
I wonder if this number's still Sideshow's number.
Which one is it?
It is 800-474-3746.
I'm going to call that number.
I think it is.
Oh, we're going to do this
number right
live.
now.
We're going to do this live.
I'm pretty sure it is.
1-800-474-3746.
Speaker.
Okay.
Let's see.
Let's see if I can order.
Press 1 to speak with customer support, or press 2 if you know your party's extension.
Yeah.
All right, customer
1.
support.
Oh God, don't.
Thank you for connecting with us. We know waiting on hold is no fun.
It's no
Our
fun.
normal customer support hours are Monday.
Thank you for calling Sideshow. This is Autumn. How can I help you?
Hey Autumn, this is Chris over in the marketing department. I was just testing out our 800 number. Thank you.
Okay.
We're all good. Thank you. All right, bye.
Oh my God.
It still works. The number is still
You're
active.
so funny. I wanted to ask her, can I order a medallion from 2001?
I want to order a medallion.
I wanted to ask her that.
I would have given you my credit card.
I didn't even get the chance.
I'm not gonna let you troll my folks.
Don't lean
inside.
chair back.
I won't
Don't
lean it back.
That's funny. That's funny. I just wanted to order one to see.
I want to order.
What? And she wanted to say, you want to order a product from 2 decades ago?
She would
yeah,
she would have
sure.
not known.
I know. I know.
Medallion. I've got an ID number right here on the screen.
It's a skew.
It's a skew. Funny. I'm sorry.
Wait,
this is very funny to me.
is there like a percentage? Do you have any idea, like in when Fellowship came out, what percentage of collectibles were ordered by mail, fax, and phone?
Most orders came in via phone, for sure.
Just like that.
Just like that, yeah. And
Honestly, that was an easy that was an easy order right there.
yeah,
Like,
our team's great. Our
I
team's-
hope she doesn't get a bunch of calls of people watching the live stream right now. Please don't do that to her. Be nice.
Well, they're close. The official hours. She got 15 minutes left.
okay. So for the next 15 minutes, don't call and be nice.
Yeah, just be
Just
nice.
don't call. Don't.
Well, if you call, buy something. The child is a really cool piece.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, if you do want to buy something, get your Grogu
yeah.
on.
There's so
'cause
many
it's cool.
Grogu things on the site.
The Grogu is awesome.
Sideshow.com. If in case
Okay.
you didn't wonder.
But here's the thing. Licenses change. As we
Yes.
were talking about weird licensing a little while ago, about half an hour ago. So the Sideshow cooperative relationship changed with Weta.
Yep.
And then Weta has a different license to do some of its own things.
Look
and
what we
Sideshow has a different license to
happened?
do some of its own things.
What happened?
Oh gosh.
hold that thought, Cliff.
Okay, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the very first photo of Cliff meeting Richard Taylor.
That was my very first trip. That was when the OneRing.net didn't have any money to send anybody else, and I was the only person in Los Angeles who was like, "Yeah, I'll go down. I'll drive down. I'll get down there."
Cliff, look at you.
And
You're wearing
I-
one of the original shirts and everything.
I was wearing the original
original
shirt.
shirt.
That is the original T-shirt that I wore when I got busted on the Hidden Camera show, the Jamie Kennedy Experiment. That was the same T-shirt I wore on that show too.
Look at it,
Thank you.
Richard gripping that giant figure.
Yeah, and there's Richard Taylor and Tanya, Roger there, and that was before anything had ever happened. And I believe
Did you have any idea that this meeting would lead to
No.
a lifetime, 20 years, and
I had
he's
no
still
idea.
coming on your show?
He's still our friend,
and
our
he's been
friend
such a
to the
support
fans,
to the
yeah.
to the One Ring
Yeah.
overall.
Is that 2001 or is that
2001?
That's 2001.
Yes.
That's
Actually,
This is the 20th
Then
anniversary.
that would be my second year. I was down. Wasn't I there in 2000 officially?
Watch
Yeah.
out, there's a RoboCop behind us.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was
ED
my
209.
second year. But yeah, hey guys. Anyways,
So yes, the way licensing works, so yeah, Sideshow then had a just Sideshow line of premium format figures
yes.
from Lord of the Rings. So we had Frodo and Aragorn and a few other pieces in that line. We also did 6-scale figures, so Aragorn, Legolas, 6-scale figures, which are like the ones that you see from Hot Toys.
Yes.
But
So
yeah.
what the Sideshow Weta thing, is that similar to the Sideshow Hot Toys thing?
No.
It's totally
Sideshow
different.
Weta worked collaboratively to produce, design, and manufacture those pieces.
Okay.
The Sideshow Hot Toys relation. Hot Toys is a completely separate company
Oh yeah.
that we work with to bring their products to the U.S. and European and South American markets.
I wish you guys could see what we see.
Right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Sideshow have a current license for Lord of the Rings merchandise?
No, we do not have a current
Not
license
currently.
with Lord of the Rings. There are many folks making really great, amazing Lord of the Rings stuff, and Sideshow carries it on our website at sideshow.com.
Oh,
I feel like I
nice.
have to keep saying at sideshow.com.
That's awesome. Okay. Cool.
But yeah, the cool thing about licensing is you do give these opportunities to companies to make just unique executions of your favorite characters. So like, there's a whole lineup from Asmus of 6-scale, really amazing 6-scale not Hot Toys, 6-scale Lord of the Rings figures. So you have like Arwen that just was announced, and
Oh, yeah.
and Legolas, and like you have these Gandalf. You have these amazing pieces that are so detailed, hyper detailed. The method of making these things and producing them evolves over time. And so while Sideshow made 6-scale figures in like 2008-ish, now here we are 13 years later, and you have Asmus making 6-scale figures, and they're just, it's cool. They complement each other, but the new ones, there's different technologies that allow things to be even more accurate or more detailed.
Yeah.
So it's really neat. And then the folks like Prime One Studio make gigantic versions of Hot Toys, or I keep saying Hot Toys, Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yes.
So like they'll have a huge, I think they have a cave troll that they made that is gigantic. Oh, and Iron Studios. Iron Studios
Oh, yeah,
is
Iron
another company
Studios.
that has a license for Lord of the Rings and does their 1/10 scale. So there's so many different ways to collect Lord of the Rings now. It's really cool.
Is there any what from Sideshow's perspective? What do you think of all of these new shows? Like,
Oh well, we love it because
the anime and the
if collectibles are made from them, we will carry them or try to. We'll get them to the audience because there's going to be an audience for the shows for sure.
Yeah.
Especially the anime. Like there's that
Oh,
whole
man.
vinyl market could really blow up. I think in Lord of the Rings. It's an interesting. I'm very interested with the Amazon show specifically because will it support high-end collectibles? Because that's what Sideshow sells. We don't sell $20 figures. We sell $700 statues.
but we do at the One Ring. We do love rubber duckies and pop vinyls.
Right. Yes.
P.O. Box.
So anyway,
That's funny. I'm all about.
Have
I'm
you
all about
seen
that. The toy ducks are fun. I'll say I'm all about
yeah,
the
they're
toy
amazing.
ducks.
What company is
Yeah.
that again?
I am about the toy
Numbskull.
ducks. Numbskull. They're
yeah,
fun,
they're
but
great.
Over the 20 years, have you seen, or have there been waves of like different size figures or different style figures? Like right now, the vinyl toy market seems to be super hot. Like is 6 scale
6 scale
thing
is historically
is 1/8 scale? Like
6 scale continues to be the most popular luxury. I would say luxury, like basically anything over $200 or more, collectible format. Because you have the opportunity to get these amazing sculpts of the actors' faces and then the details and everything, and you can pose them and you can put them in specific scenes that you want to. So it's not so much that static representation of a character.
Rory in the chat room says a lot of great stuff on this website and somewhat affordable.
Yeah,
Great birthday ideas. I like how you think, Rory.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, what we have on Sideshow.com is meant to be not cheap, but just right, like around the $50 mark or more, that make a great present for someone. That's for sure. There's something for everyone there. I mean, Sideshow just announced a BTS lineup. If you're familiar with BTS,
K-pop?
yeah.
Yes.
I have never heard of this band. Someone please explain to me who this K-pop band
Really?
is. I've never heard of them.
Oh my gosh. Clearly you have.
I'm joking.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Don't make me start singing Butter or
Oh my
Permission to
God.
Dance.
Oh yeah,
Have you
yeah.
memorized the dance?
Isn't there supposed to be a hashtag S for sarcasm on my tweet? There's a
okay.
hashtag S.
Right.
But there's
For
an
sarcasm.
audience, there's so many people that are passionate about, some topic that there's always, you want to share that with people and you want to put it on your shelf, you want to put it in your office. And, back in the late 90s and early 2000s is when the seeds were planted for an industry of, hey, it is cool for me to put a newborn Uruk-hai on my shelf from the Lord of the Rings. And now it's just exponentially grown from that point. Now you can get anything. I mean, there's Disney. I'm a big Disney guy. And there are some Disney pieces. Like they made the cat. What's the cat's name from Aristocats? Marie, I think. The white cat?
Yeah.
From Aristocats?
Yeah.
Is it Maria?
Is it Marie or
Is it Marie? Okay.
I think it's Marie because it's French.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, it's like this big, gorgeous statue of the cat.
A cat's eyes.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
it's so
That's so cool.
I totally wanted it. I didn't pull the trigger on it. I did buy a Winnie the Pooh Eeyore, though, from Sideshow.
Oh, nice.
And I bought the child.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah, the child you can't pass
What is
up.
that you found, Justin?
This, hold on. It says this is an article that was printed in a newspaper from zaptoit.com. Remember Zaptoit?
No.
That was a major entertainment news site that got invited to all the press premieres.
I do remember that.
You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I have no
Zaptoit.
memory of this place.
Hollywood, there's a massive traffic jam at the website for The Lord of the Rings, which since its launch on January 12th has seen more than 350 million hits
Yeah.
on the official website.
Was that LordOfTheRings.net?
Yeah.
.net.
I think we get mentioned in here. That's why it's in the scrapbook.
Yeah.
I think the one.
I don't know why that's in the middle of all these. So the thing that I remember about all of these figures, like everything that you guys have seen during this show, this is from the first wave of collectibles.
Yeah, the Sideshow line of collectibles.
before the movies had even come out.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember thinking, Star Wars made figures of all of the things in Star Wars.
Right.
But they were this big and they were cheap.
Yeah.
I just remember looking at Lord of the Rings. I'm like, are people going to buy 75 different characters that are all, like, no one has shelves like these in their
100%.
house.
Oh my God, totally.
They didn't in 2000.
Oh, in 2000.
So was it normal? Maybe either of you, like, was it normal, or was Lord of the Rings like pushing the boundaries of like how
I
many
feel like-
figures that we can make?
Oh, you mean in terms of saturating the marketplace?
Saturating the market with all of these characters that you haven't grown to love yet.
But it's not saturation. Remember, it came out in waves. So you had a first wave of, some characters that were well known, and some that were like new to you because of the films. And then the next series would come out, and the next series. What I would say it started, but again, I had a limited scope of this community before joining the collector community, and late in the early 2000s. It was an acceptable practice to be collector of something, right? So maybe you collected James Bond something, or Universal Monsters, or whatever. But to the scale of what we see today, it was just burgeoning. It was just starting. So people would use it more as a decorative element in their home versus collecting them all. So you would have, we never sold the life-size Gollum, though Gollum was there. You could buy a life-size Gollum somewhere at some point, I'm sure.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. A 1-to-1 scale life-size Gollum.
But in the year 2001, seeing that many characters as we've seen during this show today, like,
Well, there weren't that many. I would say Series 1 was like 20 characters or something.
I feel like that's a lot for like.
Yeah. And probably there was a tease at the show of like what's coming up and stuff, like the breadth of the entire collection.
Yeah.
But
If you were working for Sideshow and you owned the One Ring, how did you balance knowing and not showing?
it's called an NDA.
I had to do that too, because I was working for Ian McKellen at McKellen.com and also writing spy reports for the OneRing.net, and I had to keep my mouth shut.
You know what it is? It's also called being a professional.
Yeah. I'm still, even 20 years later, I'm still keeping my mouth shut with things that I've learned on the inside from all those years ago. It's called being a professional.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's literally called like, hey, you need to segment these things.
Yep.
However, there was crossovers in the sense of, hey, I know this is coming. Hey, wondering, let's go do this event, and Sideshow was supported in this way, and there was of course collaboration. Sideshow was a big sponsor for our parties. I mean, we brought down. I was going to bring in the Gollum, but he was a little heavy. We still have the Gollum from the parties that we would use, the life-size Gollum. He's over here in this building. But we had a life-size Lurtz.
Lurtz.
Oh gosh, I remember that.
And then we also had a life-size Ring Wraith on Steve.
My ex-boyfriend,
That's right.
Lurtz.
Yeah.
The life-size Lurtz, my ex-boyfriend.
But there's pictures, we would borrow these Sideshow would generously just truck this stuff in. Sideshow Weta at that time, right? Would truck this stuff in, and we would use it as significant display pieces for these parties to put them over the edge. God bless you.
Thank you. I'm remembering some of the guests being creeped out by life-size Lurtz.
The Lurtz was amazing.
We had to place him at a certain. We had to place him somewhere in the party that wouldn't scare everybody off. So we had to debate and find different places where to put Lurtz every year at the Oscar party. Because as it turns out, Peter Jackson's movies got more and more and more Oscar nominations. Every year there was another big Oscar party.
Yep.
And Lurtz was always there to scare our guests away.
In the process of finding all these photos, I don't have them here today for this show, but infamously, no one has been able to find any photos of our first Oscar party for Fellowship, because digital cameras, not everybody had a digital camera, and people were dressed up, and they didn't want to.
Which one was
carry-
that? That was in Hollywood Athletic Club.
It was at the Hollywood Athletic Club, yes.
It was?
The first one, yes.
Is that the one
The
where
second
Peter,
one-
when
the
Peter
sec-
came in
Yep.
Yes.
to the VIP room and
Yep.
we were all hanging out in
At
there?
with the billiard tables.
Yes.
Yes,
We
and
have
that's where
pictures of those.
Howard
I
Shore.
found the pictures. I found
You found them?
pictures in the scrapbook
Oh, thank God. Yes,
from
you found
from that party.
That's where Howard Shore let me hold his Oscar
Yes.
for winning the Fellowship of the
And
Ring
there's
score.
there's only
Yes.
like 3 Oscars. I think the visual effects guys got
Richard
it.
Taylor got one too.
Yeah, Richard's walking
Yes,
around. Peter's
yes.
just hanging out with you.
Yeah.
And with no
Yes.
Oscar,
Yes.
he's just hanging out.
Yeah. I remember that part. That was pretty amazing. That was pretty epic.
Jill Miller says there was a huge Lurts on exhibition in Boston at the Science Museum. My son cried like hell. He was 10 years old at the time.
Yep.
Poor boy. But yes, that's exactly how we all felt. That's how we
Speaking
all
of alerts, I hope Amazon's show has prosthetics.
Instead of
Not
Azog
digital.
style, digital Azog.
Well, let's
Like-
just look at the current lineup of what they've done. I think they will. Only because every Amazon show that I've been watching, and I love the Amazon studio content, I haven't been like, oh, it's all green screen. Like it's all relatively good. Like The Boys. I mean, The Boys. You don't.
Emmy
see-
Emmy
you don't see
nominated.
it.
Congrats,
You don't
Carl
see it.
Urban.
and
Is it like recent?
For today, 4 Emmy nominations
Oh,
for The
Carl Urban's
Boys.
so amazing.
congratulations to everyone on the team
Yeah.
at The Boys.
Oh,
we
we-
all love that show. And of course, there's Orlando's program,
Yes.
Carnival Row.
And that
Has
was
that been
prosthetic.
renewed or was that canceled?
No, that was supposed to have a season.
It's still
two.
going.
Is it supposed to be
Yeah.
a second season of
Yeah,
Carnival
but,
Row?
but only because of the pandemic. They didn't.
Oh, that's,
That's
right.
right.
Well, they did a lot of great prosthetics.
Oh, we do have a question.
On Carnival
Honest
Row.
question from a complete noob of collector noob.
I didn't like the
Okay,
story very much. Carnival Row was kind
what's
of like
the
meh.
honest question from
Any love
In the
for
story
Funko
department.
Pops in the community, or are they seen as blasphemy, heresy
No,
for real
no.
collectors?
No.
Oh no.
No.
I have to say, Rory Harrison and Noldorim, hello. Is it me you're looking for? I am the guy who collects Funko Pops. We all collect
Funko Pops are 100%. In fact,
We love them.
without giving
They're
too
fine.
much information away, there are multiple people in this office that's all they collect. You
They're
know,
all
Yeah.
over the place. They work here for Sideshow, but there are Funko Pops on each desk.
Yeah.
I just saw
Yeah.
the Castlevania Funko Pops are on the desk right behind me.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Castlevania fan. I'm an anime
No.
fan.
One of the,
I would buy those.
Let me talk
I would
real
buy
quick
those.
briefly about the collecting community because this is an important distinction for Sideshow.
Yeah.
Actually, my shirt says "Let Your Geek Sideshow." It's our mantra essentially.
That's funny.
And we have a Facebook group of 48,000 people that celebrate fandom. It's not collecting. It's just fandom, pop culture.
Is this a private group?
It is a private group. And let me explain something to you. You cannot be a troll or diss other people's it's a positive community that
On
we
Facebook?
celebrate. I know that we celebrate everything and anything related to what you're passionate about in fandom. And if you're a troll, you're gone. Like it's this awesome place. And we are so happy to have a community like that because it's insanely positive in a sea of insanity. I know we've been dealing on the One Ring with the insanity of trolls and Twitter and all that space, but
Yeah.
you know, it's just a matter of finding these little communities where you can actually express your love for Funko Pops. If that's what you collect, awesome. You know, if you only collect BTS stuff, awesome. If you only collect Lord of the Rings, but only elves, cool.
Yeah,
Only elf
let
because
your
you
geek
have
side show.
You got an elf
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
And that's what it's called, by the way. If you go to Facebook, it's let your
So
geek
what?
side show.
So if someone starts like making fun of you because you only collect a certain Funko Pops, like, oh, you're not a real collector.
Hey, you're gone. The guy's gone. Banned.
No, but what is your personal response? Like. How do you
grow up? I mean, like,
Well, why are you making
why do you
fun of
need to
this?
be a troll? Like, you know.
I would like to add the conversation of fandom is to celebrate what we love
Right.
about these stories, of these books, and in many cases with our particular fandom, and this is what makes us different from Star Wars fandom or Harry Potter fandom. We're interested in the academic side of linguistics, the fact that Professor Tolkien was a linguist, a philologist. That's the kind of nitty-gritty, granular stuff that we all celebrate as a fandom. No one is here to score points of political tribalism against one another. We're not here for that. We're not here for polarizing conversations. We're not here to go negative, and we're not here to take a check from Amazon Studios that doesn't exist. So all y'all out there, oh my gosh, the Floridian in me is coming out now. But all y'all out there who are behaving that way and casting aspersions at us and blah, blah, blah about this conversation about whether Professor Tolkien would have agreed with current
We call that
temperament.
gatekeeping, I
You know what?
believe, right?
We don't know if Professor Tolkien would agree or have an opinion on current cultural touchstones or the new watermark of cultural conversation wherever we're at right now. And God forbid it can't be Twitter, because Twitter is not the new cornerstone of cultural conversation. It's really not. However, all that set aside, the fandom is here to support our love of Tolkien.
Yep.
We're not here to drag anyone down. We're not here to push an agenda of our ideas against anyone else's ideas. We're here to celebrate the literature and the legacy of the man himself and his extraordinary accomplishments. And his accomplishments will go on being celebrated forever, whether we're here or not. And that's fine too. Rant off.
You said the word celebrate multiple times there, and I think that's the key word. Celebrating things is where it's at. That's what your group's about,
Yep.
Geek Sideshow. It's just celebrate things.
It's supposed to uplift people.
Right. If you
Enjoy.
don't got anything nice to say, keep your mouth shut. Or what do they tell Wormtongue?
Thank you, Jill. You rock as well, Jill. You are a rock and roller, so keep on rocking in the free world. What was that you just asked me?
We
Sorry?
live in a world that needs a lot more.
We live in a world.
Period.
Jared
We
Leto.
live in a society.
We live in a world.
We live in a
society. Okay, yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
But we live in a world that needs a lot more consideration and empathy for each other, and an understanding of everybody is different. We are all different. We're all our own little
Is
fingerprints.
this the
on
Argonath
fandom.
thing that you
Yeah.
were talking about?
Ain't that the truth?
Yes,
Ooh, I
that is
remember
actually
that.
that is the one I have.
Oh, I
You
remember
have this.
that.
That is literally what I have.
From
That exact one. This was never sold at this time. That is a prototype. If you looked at the base of that,
Dated July 19th, 2001. We are 6 days away from the 20th anniversary.
and I literally have that at home.
Wow.
And if you flip it upside down, it's like it's
Wow.
counter sample whatever.
And
blah,
you
blah,
watching now can bid on this.
blah. No, I'm never selling something like that.
In response to Andy in the Facebook chat, do any of you guys collect LOTR board games? Yes, I do in particular.
Only
That was
him.
huge in the early days too. Remember?
Only him.
Oh my gosh. In the early days, there weren't any
Yeah, but there was the
licensed
old
games.
school stuff.
The old school stuff was very limited. And again, it's back to licensing. Who had the license from Saul Zentz? And at that time, Saul Zentz was working with Jack Nicholson and Milos Forman, making a movie called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Eventually, Saul Zentz would get the rights to publish board games and would take The Lord of the Rings to John Borman, who would not do it, and eventually Ralph Bakshi did it in 78 or 79.
Yeah.
Okay? That was by United Artists. At the time, there were only 2 board games way back then that had Lord of the Rings in the name of it. And then there was another license in the year 2000, and a very famous
User Knizia?
Rainer Knizia.
That's what it is,
Very
yeah.
famous German game designer.
Yeah.
One of the best game designers in the world.
Diamond logo.
Yeah, Rainer Knizia got his Lord of the Rings game published in the year 2000. It was a cooperative game
That's
where
right.
all the players could combine their best efforts to beat
Ostadon
the
write
game.
something on that?
I did.
Or was it you?
I did. It was called The Game's the Thing.
Yeah.
And I wrote this piece for the
Is it
Green
in-
Books.
is it in these?
It's right in here, yeah. So, yeah.
I don't like any of
There was
those
all these
games.
cool board games.
Well,
now it's
they're
different.
hard. You have to think. It's a thinking man's
There's
thing.
collectible trading card
Thinking
games.
man's joke.
You know, Decipher tried to break into the Magic the Gathering market
Yes.
with a Lord of the Rings collectible card game.
They had a Tom Bombadil card.
That's right. They had a Tom Bombadil card. That Weta artists created a Tom Bombadil.
Did you know that?
No,
It's in
Yes.
our scrapbook.
Yeah.
I'll find it then.
Yeah. They even created a Radagast, an early Radagast for the card game.
And
way
Blue
back
Wizards,
then.
right?
Yeah. It was so cool.
They
So,
did a bunch of that stuff. The Decipher
Yeah.
Fan Club, remember that?
oh, I do remember the Decipher Fan Club.
That was-
okay.
that was
Here's the
fun.
thing: when Nicholas Holt was just a teenager, he was sitting around playing that Decipher card game. Years later, he would never suspect he would be cast to play John Ronald Reuel himself in the Dome Korkovsky film. But I talked with Nicholas Holt about that and his
That's
great
right.
affection for the Decipher card game.
It sounds like we need to organize a Decipher card game between Cliff and
Nicholas Holt. I'm down. Nicholas, let's play. Let's play the game. But
Yeah,
before we close
I have
this
to-
little mini paragraph, I'll say one last thing.
Well, before you have the final statement, I
No, I
have
want
to
to talk
correct
about this game.
I have to correct
This
myself.
one game.
I did collect Lord of the Rings games, but it was
You
every
did.
skin of existing games. So I've got Lord of the Rings Risk, Lord of the Rings Monopoly, Lord of the Rings Connect 4,
Oh, I forgot.
Lord of the Rings Life,
They did have those.
Lord of the Rings Stratego,
Lord of the Rings
Lord of-
Monopoly.
Trivial Pursuit. In
I
which
have
We
Lord-
Are a Question.
Yes.
The OneRing.net is in the Lord of
We
the
are
Rings Trivial Pursuit.
in the Lord of the Rings Trivial Pursuit as an answer. We're an answer to
Hey,
a
wait,
question.
can that be like our Twitter verification? Here's our.
By the way, did we get approved or disapproved? Because everybody's bragging about how they got declined
Yes.
for their blue check mark.
Oh,
Who's
anyway.
bragging about what?
Every
never
two
submitted
bits
anything.
every 2-bit celebrity's been like in the last 2 weeks been like Twitter declined my blue check mark.
Oh.
They've been doing that.
So every time there's a tweet, I'll jump into their replies like me first, and they're like, "How come the One Ring is not?"
Well, I think that Trivial Pursuit card would be a really good
would be the way to prove
indicator
it.
of like, hey,
We really are.
we are Daniel. By the way,
We
it's
really are
Daniel
real.
Falconer who put us into the game, I believe.
Unbelievable. That's fantastic.
Like,
I didn't know
what?
Daniel did that.
He was writing questions. At least this is a memory of mine.
so
It
weird
needs to
and
be
cool.
But I remember talking to him
Really?
and about like he was writing some questions and stuff, and I think he was the one that put us in.
Really, I want to thank you
Put
for
you
that.
guys in.
I want
You
to-
are the community of the One
I
Ring.
want to personally thank him for that very soon. However, to put a button on that conversation,
I don't know,
if you
maybe.
guys want to get your hands on the most popular Lord of the Rings board game that is on the market right now, that is wildly popular, it's about a year old, maybe a year and a few months. It is called Journeys in Middle Earth. It is published by Fantasy Flight Games. Journeys in Middle Earth is a simplified RPG with all these cool Lord of the Rings characters you
much
can
are these
play.
games?
It's a $100 game to buy the core set.
Sideshow should be covering it.
It's
I'm
a
gonna-
$99
I'm gonna
core
message
set.
someone to message
I
to
promise
carry
you,
it.
you will get endless months and months of entertainment out of Journeys in Middle Earth and the expansion that came out that has Gandalf as a playable character and Thorin's sister, Dis, the female dwarf, the only female dwarf mentioned by name.
Her name is Dis.
Dis, D-I-S.
D-I-S.
Yes, that is Thorin's sister. She is a tank. What a great character to play. You're going to love this game. Get your hands on it. You'll love it. I'm done. I'm done.
Whoa, Cliff.
Journeys
can't-
in Middle Earth. It's the best.
I can't believe that's what you have, and this was never produced.
No, well, it was produced by Weta, I think in like 2013 or something, eventually. But as their individual Weta. But this was
Yeah.
when we displayed it in 2001, and that's the one. I'm pretty sure that is the one I
Wow.
literally have. That.
Oh, I remember that Orthanc. I remember
Orthanc
that Tower
was
of Orthanc.
extremely popular as well.
Yeah, that was a beautiful environment. Yeah.
Yeah, but also extremely fragile. That
Was?
guy's super fragile too, but I have him at home. I have that one at home.
What is that? A square relief?
Which one now?
Is
Oh,
that's
yeah,
not a
yeah.
round coin.
No, that
that
was
is-
that's by the way Tookish.
John Asher, right?
Yeah, that's Tookish from the One Ring.
Oh, that
holding
is John.
the Ring Wraith. What was it called?
It's the Ringwraith looking at the tree roots.
Yes, but it was
right?
called something.
Looking at the hobbits underneath.
Wall plaque. I think we just called them wall plaques.
Okay.
I have that one.
So you have all these relief. Do you guys make or sell any relief sculptures anymore like
Really?
this?
No. Well,
No.
actually, there might be some on the site. We have over 5,000 items on the site now.
At
So-
sideshow.com.
At
Oh, my
sideshow.com.
goodness.
So,
Here's a trick thing. I guess the Balrog is the single most valuable collectible you've ever made in terms of the secondary market. 20 years later,
Used to be.
it's the Balrog, right?
I think it changed.
With that flaming whip that goes around it in a
It
circle.
used to be that one.
Yeah.
I think it's now. Josh Long would know, but it might be the cave troll. Remember, there's the cave troll is banging on the thing.
Oh yeah, the cave troll.
It might be that one now.
Really?
But it's close. It's somewhere in there.
I distinctly remember that.
Look at this
That
advance
cave troll.
order catalog for things to come. These are the Sideshow Weta busts. And it says this purple box, if you can't read it, that says, "Dear fan, unfortunately we could not get pictures of the Toy Biz photo of the products. So we're still going to list them." So enjoy that. We found this in the scrapbook. This is how you order. This is how you ordered
Wow.
Tolkien, the Lord of the Rings
Toy Biz.
Sideshow.
Interesting. No,
Wait.
that was Toy Biz. That was a different.
This is
company.
both. You're at the Sideshow's at the
We're
bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so people really did order through catalog. Look at customer service 935. What should we call this number? 3301.
No, do not call it.
Fax. Yeah, it literally you fax in
100%
your
you
order.
put faxing on. And by the way, the fax form did not go away until maybe like 2011 or something. Like it was still a functional form that we
People
had.
still fax.
The only people who still do faxes, believe it or not, are government agencies like Los Angeles County Department of Social Services or something like that. They're the only people who do faxes is government offices. Otherwise, no one uses it anymore.
There it is, Cliff Broadway
Oh gosh.
at the Sideshow booth.
With my famous orange shirt.
You had a catalog in hand,
Yeah.
slot wall display.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It was
The
a
slot
slot.
wall display is
That was-
amazing.
With the old Sideshow logo, the question mark logo.
Wow.
I don't even remember that question mark logo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
There's some cool pieces in the background too, like you have Twilight Zone.
Oh, Jill, you're right, Jill. Lawyers and doctors, they still send fax. They still fax. Yeah. And to prove that, there is still a fax machine at your local FedEx office.
And then I found,
You found the spiky wheel.
and then the week after Comic-Con, we got a hold of this photo.
Oh my gosh,
The
that
most,
picture.
one of the most talked about controversial photos ever.
People thought this was Gandalf.
We
No,
did.
Well,
At first, we were worried it was Gandalf going to die like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this how Gandalf dies by the hand of the Balrog?
Oh gosh. Will I Am says there is a Balrog from 2002 on eBay for $3,000.
okay.
Yep.
Yep. There you go. If it's intact, I
Wow.
mean, it's worth it.
If it doesn't have any bits broken on it, yeah.
Lurtz, Urukai Captain,
Wow.
Helms, man. All of this from Dwarf.
There was a lot, folks. There was a lot to collect. That's not a Sideshow one. The one Gimli one wasn't one.
Yeah.
Those are.
Didn't Gentle Giant once upon a time have a license?
Yeah. Yep. I think so.
Okay. And they
Well-
were a company that does laser scanning.
Elendil. No,
If
is
I'm
that
not
Elendil?
mistaken.
Who is that? Is that Elendil? No.
I don't think so. Candace says my office still gets faxes for service. Yeah, so a lot of people are still using faxes. But so, at what point did you set up an e-commerce site? And was
Well,
that
Sideshow we had an e-commerce site when I came in. I took over the e-commerce site operations,
yeah.
so we scaled it from where it was to what it is today, which is a very big company. And so back then, though,
are most of your sales online now?
oh yeah, the vast majority of the sales are all online.
Well, that's my next question is: would there ever be a Sideshow Collectibles retail outlet store or a retail
No,
store?
because we love our comic book shops. Like, support local comic book shops.
Oh,
'cause
heck yeah, absolutely.
That's where you can
Okay.
actually go to sideshow.com/store-locator, and it'll tell you like the local shops that carry our stuff.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it's actually on the bottom. Like, if you don't remember the URL, it's at the bottom of the site. But yeah, we want to support the small business aspect. The comic book shop is an institution, right? I mean,
Yes.
something you don't want to go away. So if you don't like necessarily getting something that is expensive and having it shipped through the mail,
You can
then
get stolen off your
you can also
porch.
and the other part is if you go to the store locator and you find a store, you can always ask them to order it if they don't have it in stock. Because most likely a lot of stores today in the current environment aren't going to stock
every
$1,000 statues
Yeah.
or whatever.
Actually, that's one of the better ways to get it because you don't have to worry about shipping to your doorstep and you're not home
Right.
and you missed it and someone
Right.
steals it. Because it doesn't matter if the Ring camera sees it; it's still gone. Like
And,
So,
and any more collectibles are giant and they come in giant boxes. I mean, some of these things we sell are so big.
when did you think? What year was it when it finally clicked over and like online was the best way to order stuff? Because when Fellowship of the Ring came out, as you saw, it was by phone and fax.
I would say the consumer concern over credit card data, right, has always been the hindrance to selling online, because is this safe? Is this secure? And there was a whole time in the early 2000s where going through growing pains of like, okay, we need the SSL certificates and we need the locking icon, and you need to have that security understanding. But there's still people, there's still generations like that do not shop online, right? Mm-hmm. I know what's interesting. The
that love these movies,
right? The pandemic was very interesting. It was obviously horrific on the human cost, right, of what happened to people that get sick, and all the mental health, all this stuff. But there were some very interesting shifts in culture. One of them was so much more went online, right? From everything, everyday grocery purchases to restaurants to e-commerce. E-commerce saw a gigantic leap, right, during the pandemic, because nobody was going to their local comic book shop, right? So it actually pushed a lot of people over that. I don't like the idea of putting my credit card into a website, and there was still a big chunk of people that didn't want to do that, and now they did. So it's very interesting to see the older generation start to actually buy into that aspect of e-commerce. So there's still growth. E-commerce is still evolving.
Yeah. Now you said you started at Sideshow because you were getting the One Ring was getting affiliate commissions. Now we have some great YouTube channels like Nerd of the Rings and Fellowship of the Fans. Like, does Sideshow still do that affiliate commission?
Oh yeah. You can still shareasale.com is where we are. Like, you can go to Sideshow, go to the bottom. There's an affiliate link there.
So you
can still get commissions.
They could put a link in their YouTube descriptions and get a commission.
Oh, 100%, yeah. We give 10% on in-stock product currently, which if you sell a $300 statue, you get $30.
That pays your cell phone bill.
It is quite a lucrative business if you treat it correctly. Like if you do it the right way. And there's a lot. I mean, we have so much at the site now. Hopefully people have been looking, and you could just sit there for hours and look at all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And I even every Friday with Sideshow in our group, we go private. We go to a live stream, and I come in sometimes and just go through what we released, because I don't even know what we released for the week because there's 80 new things, right? And you're like, oh my god, I need that. Oh, the Back to the Future wall poster that was a relief.
Yeah.
And lights up with the car. Like, how cool is that, right?
Is that here somewhere?
No, it's on the site. But there's all kinds of stuff that you can go down a rabbit hole. We just released The Dude from The Big Lebowski as a 6-scale figure.
Yeah.
It's featured on Nerdist and Yahoo, and it's
what?
So cool.
So and I noticed that you are live streaming like every day. Is that because you have so many new products?
It's because we want to engage with the audience and the fans and give people
But you use the streams to like show off these things, don't you?
No. Part of it is that, for sure.
Uh-huh.
Most of it is, hey, let's play a game and give away stuff.
But I've seen like YouTube series on your Sideshow's YouTube channel of like how to pose.
Yeah. Like 6-scale figures, like you saw on the wall here from Hot Toys, are complicated to get the skill of posing into the right position. That's why I don't want to move some of these. I'll get one of them at least.
Ooh. In the chat room, what characters do you want to see? I showed you at the top of the show the shelf. I didn't show you the whole room because our lens is really tight. So, what do you guys want to see? We'll pull it off the shelf.
Well, I can't pull off too much.
I see.
Here, Stanley, because he's in a chair. So, here, the great Stanley.
The great
Stanley.
So this is a Hot Toys piece. There's actually another Stanley on our website you can buy. The one where he's an astronaut from, I think, what movie was that one? Where he was on the moon?
Was that Guardians of the Galaxy?
Maybe.
Yeah, where he's one of the Titan light.
He's talking to the Watchers.
So
he's a Watcher.
He's speaking to the Watchers.
I don't want to move it because it's posed by our expert poser. But essentially, you can move these joints and get into the different positions. So we have a whole series called How to Be a Poser, which takes the popular pieces and shows you how to pose them to look like this in your house. We also have Strike a Pose, which is a game show format where we have celebrities and influencers come on and give them like 12 minutes to pose something, and then our judging panel decides who did it best.
That's funny.
You got Michael Jackson on that shelf?
Yeah, let me
Yes,
go
we
get
do.
Michael Jackson.
And
then-
you've got Batman with a bomb. That Batman with a bomb is
That's Adam West, 1960s Batman with
Oh my
a
God.
We
giant
also have
bomb.
a show called Unsealed and Revealed. It's every Tuesday. That's the one that features Guy Klender and Terry Smith. And they unseal a brand new one to show.
There you go. Already.
How cool is that, right?
wow.
Adam West. There's a Robin over there too, I think. Yeah, he's right behind, but we're not gonna.
They also have the Hot Toy Stanley as the barber from Thor Ragnarok.
Yep, that's the one I was thinking.
We don't have that one on this shelf, but seriously, guys, there's like 500 figures here. If you call it out, we got Predators, we've got DC, we've got Marvel, got Lucasfilm, all Marvel.
There's a subset of just Christopher Nolan Batman characters, and then there's a subset of only
Resident Evil.
Johnny Depp characters, including Captain Jack
man.
Sparrow and
More
Tonto from The Lone Ranger.
Yes.
What else is over there? Oh,
That is so
there's also Ichabod Crane.
cool.
Ichabod
My
Crane.
favorite Michael Jackson is the black leather with all of the basically the same amount of zips, but with all the medallions and stuff. You know, like the authoritarian Michael Jackson.
That's the only one I can see the wrist joints on MJ. We can actually move
Cecilia
the
in the
hands.
chat room says that Batman is beautiful. Gandis wants to see Green Arrow. Is there a Green Arrow on the shelf?
I'm looking on the DC shelf on the very bottom. There is no green.
We
arrow.
have a request for Davy Jones.
Sorry,
or
there's
Jax.
Where's David Jones?
Fausto says
No.
Anakin Skywalker.
There's Anakin.
Where?
Right there.
Oh yeah, right
Oh,
there.
I can't bring that one up.
Oh, that one's on fire. That literally has a base of fire.
He's
or
on
lava.
He's on the little droid that's working on Mustafar as the lava droid. So that's Anakin.
Oh yeah,
floating
that's
on
the
lava droid.
flying lava droid.
Yeah, he's on it. Yeah, that's really cool.
We had Davy Jones. We had Anakin
Davy
Skywalker.
Jones is not on this wall.
Not on this wall. Oh, there's Doc
The
Brown.
Ghost Rider's pretty cool though.
Oh, Johnny Depp. Oh yeah, there's.
Ghost Rider.
There's a 4 or 5 different versions of Captain America,
And Spider-Man.
and a couple of different versions of Thor. Maybe 3 or 4 different Thor God of Thunders.
I see 12 Captain Americas.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
there's
a bunch, but that's just
18.
one format. You know that there's we have other sections of this campus that you're all the statues and like all that. Like when the lights go on out there, you saw some of these statues on podiums out here.
Is that Anakin figure back in stock? What's the deal with like figures? Do they come back in stock?
No.
I checked once and
no.
it was out of stock. Oh, that's the Anakin floating on the lava droid? Out of stock?
Yes, that one. Most
See?
likely, a lot of these items are definitely a little older because this room was set up a couple years ago. But these are limited items, so if you miss it on the window, you missed on the window.
Yeah.
That's how you create the term collectible.
Tony Stark.
That is why they
there's
are
like
collectible.
18 Tony Starks in
Oh
here.
yeah, there's millions of Tony Starks.
Yeah.
And
Iron,
it's
there's
not
millions of
represented,
Iron
like
Men.
right now, like if you missed out on these, you missed out on these. Right now on the site is tons of Mandalorian, right?
Oh,
so those
yes,
will be
yes.
the missed out item
Yeah.
of 2 years from now. Like there's so much Mandalorian there, and in fact, Sideshow Con is coming up next week. We're going to have some really cool new reveals,
Oh my.
including the Mandalorian armorer.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I love
the-
that character.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's
cool.
She's amazing, and she's an exclusive. So if you register for Sideshow Con, you get a 2-hour window to order her before anybody else, and they're limited.
And is it like do you have to put $40 up and then?
No. When you buy an item, you put a NRD down, non-refundable deposit, and
Yeah.
then they ship these are all pre-order. Those are pre-order that we're doing the exclusives. Actually, wait, the exclusives might be available sooner because they're already here.
They're already And you have flex pay, right? Like you can like
Yeah, you can pay over time.
pay over time.
Yep.
Is it like, can you set the number of installments? Like if I can
Yeah.
only afford $40 a month, like,
You can change them. There's a the number of payments, and you can play with that. Yeah.
well, that's
figure out what-
cool.
That
and
is
there's
kind of
no-
cool.
There's no interest or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just straight up.
Are
No
we-
interest. Hey, that's even cooler. That's even cooler. Unlike the interest you're paying
wait,
on your student loans,
can we tell that
you're not
story?
paying interest on your Sideshow
What?
collectibles.
Can we tell that story that was in the news? The container.
No. What? No.
the-
Wait.
the-
Oh
the
no,
container-
no.
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 I
Nope.
thought-
Okay, we can't reveal that.
Can't tell that story.
Nope.
No.
So many secrets. So many secrets.
But there's if you want to know more about like Sideshow, go to sideshow.com.
Planning on any more Star Wars prequel figures?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's
Jar Jar is having a comeback right now.
prequels in general. That generation is getting into the nostalgia phase.
So what's the process of like, yeah, let's say, does an artist say, I like Jar Jar, can I design Jar Jar? And he gets approval to start
Yeah,
sculpting?
every company has a design team or and yeah, they just you basically look at like, hey, no one's ever done a Jar Jar figure, and they like sure, let's why is it gonna are people gonna buy it? Is there interest? You do research, like all this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and then you make the decision to make it. I don't know if there's a Jar Jar figure. I can not confirm or deny that.
Right.
But yeah, I'm sure the prequels
Sith
are
Jar Jar.
the prequels are definitely coming up on the age because there's a certain demo that does this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now the people
There's
who grew
nothing-
up with the prequels are making money.
Mm-hmm.
They want to
They
collect. what
grew
they
up, that
remember
was
as
the Star
kids.
Wars that they grew up
Yeah.
with.
This is making me feel so old
I know,
now.
right?
It's the same
Nothing-
with The Hobbit.
Nothing you have said has
kids
made me feel
love-
as old as this, to think that there's a nostalgia factor for the audience that was a child at the time when
Yeah.
Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, came out.
Pokemon is huge. We have the coolest Pokemon ball replicas on the site. They're only $100.
Wow.
They're metal. They're cast. They light up. They do all the color changes. Like it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
That's so cool.
You think you're all try
so cool.
the Hobbit generation. The Hobbit generation's coming into the workforce now. The kids that grew up,
Wait,
their
11.
parents took them to see the Hobbit
okay, they're probably
movies.
20-ish. Yeah.
And
Oh
now
my.
and so there's a whole generation. That's what's crazy about the Lord of the Rings Amazon series. It's like there's a whole generation that grew up with the Hobbit and loved that kind of energy that those brought.
Yeah.
And there's our generation that grew up with the Oscar-winning trilogy, and that's our standard.
and
So
there's also a generation before you that grew up with the Ralph Bakshi film.
Right. Exactly.
And thought that wildly colorful
telling you,
psychedelia
how-
was the height of the
I
adaptation.
want currently executed Rankin Bass, like vinyl.
I would love that.
How cool would those?
The Rankin and Bass
Yeah.
character designs,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
designed by the Japanese
You know what I want?
animators at Topcraft.
Goblin. I want
Yes.
the Goblin King.
The Goblin King, yeah, the Great Goblin.
Yeah,
the Great Goblin.
The
The
great,
Great
I
Goblin.
want him going.
The Great Goblin.
Like-
I want that too. Biting
I will buy
Thorin's
that.
head off.
well, guess
I
what
want
I've
that
heard.
too.
Guess
That's
what I've
awesome.
heard.
Those are vinyl toys I would buy a
in
ton of.
2 seconds.
Yes. Yes.
Guess what I've heard.
What?
It has been in the news that Amazon and Jeff Bezos have purchased MGM. And everyone's talking about the Bond
Is that Rankin?
franchise.
Is that Rankin Bass?
But turns out
They distributed it.
rumors that we're
was,
hearing-
That was not the television distribution through MGM. No. Rankin Bass did not get distributed through MGM. Sorry.
but it's The Hobbit.
But they had the rights to The Hobbit, of course.
They have the rights to The Hobbit.
Yes.
So the Hobbit rights are in the MGM deal.
The Hobbit Rankin Bass?
The Hobbit Rankin Bass and all the Hobbit rights. And the word I'm hearing is that Jeff put a premium value to all of those additional Tolkien and Hobbit rights because the MGM deal includes all of United Artists and everything that Saul Zaentz and United Artists had done on. So theoretically, if the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, approves this
Approves the
merger,
yeah.
or buyout, Amazon can make all the Rankin and Bass toys
That they want.
that they want.
Can you? I'm telling you, the Gollum The Golem is what got me into Lord of the Rings in general.
Voiced by the avant-garde comedian of the time, Brother Theodore, who is so famous for arguing with guests on the Johnny Carson show and having his one-man shows being absolutely bizarre, dark comedy monologues.
Wow,
that
then he was
did.
appropriately cast.
He
right?
was totally discovered as an underground cabaret artist in New York City.
Wow.
And everyone in the village went to go see. There's a whole documentary about Brother Theodore.
What's it called?
And
Brother Theodore?
I think the name of it is I Regret to Inform You.
That's cool.
I think that's what it's called. And anyways, it's going to be really cool. I think that they're going to put the final touches on it. Yes, the Rankin Bass stuff was so cool, but the live chatters are not that enthused about
It's
a
Rankin Bass toys.
Really?
I'm not either.
I am.
I am
I am.
not
Oh my
either.
gosh,
I'm
you
into
and
it.
I would buy all of them.
You don't have to buy any at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Don't buy
you guys can spend
buy
the
them.
money. To answer the final question of the evening in the chat room, I've seen come up. We have been watching the whole chat. You can probably see my eye line has been looking at you. What about the Amazon Lord of the Rings show? Are you going to be making figures for that? And let me answer that.
Oh, good question.
On behalf of them,
Yeah.
I've heard from multiple people now, senior people, that the Tolkien estate specifically did not include merchandise rights for the TV series.
Really?
Amazon is only allowed to make this TV series. They cannot exploit it with merch.
Interesting.
If that rumor
That's-
is true,
That's what we've heard.
that is a seismic, phenomenal piece of news. If that is true,
And
That's
and
phenomenal.
what we've heard is that one
That
of the
is
reasons
huge.
One of the reasons is the estate famously sued Warner Brothers for their over merchandising, and
True, that's true.
and they wanted
true.
to make sure that the creative output of the show had zero influence of toy sales. So no one would design an orc or a thing or a gadget or a widget or anything
Just to make it a
just
toy.
to make it a toy.
So
Focus on fidelity to the story.
that means no T-shirts, no bumper stickers, no refrigerator
Nothing.
magnets, no Funko vinyl pop toys, no Sideshow collectibles.
That's the rumors.
If that rumor is true, then they're only making a TV series and no merch at all, no
Correct.
merchandise at all.
Correct.
And
That's someone owns the
that's
rights.
wild. That's
And
wild.
someone will sell the rights.
Who would not take that cash cow all the way to the bank?
What do you mean?
Who would not do that?
But Jeff Bezos and Amazon are the richest company in the history of the world. They
Yes.
don't need to monetize this. They just want to make a great show and get people to subscribe to Prime. They don't
It's
need
so
to.
funny too because it doesn't seem like subscribing to Prime anyway because you don't subscribe to it. You just
You
are
get Prime for free because you
I don't get Prime. I don't have Prime.
get
Prime. You don't
Prime
do
because
Amazon Prime.
just to get
No.
your
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 shipments
shipments.
fast?
my ship.
Faster?
No, the thing is, I
You're
get
like
free
the first
shipment.
person I've ever met that is not a
I
Prime
don't-
member.
I'm not no, because
Wow.
what they don't tell you is they offer free shipping on every order.
Above a certain amount, yes.
$25.
Yeah, but I buy a bunch of $5 stuff.
I never. No, I did.
So anyway,
Okay.
interesting. All right.
Anyway, that's the
Intriguing.
history.
Well, by
of
the way, just to be clear, Sideshow no way endorses any of the statements on this show.
No, we are guests
Yes,
inside
okay.
Joe's house.
No, but seriously, no.
And the owners of the One Ring want to remind us that Cliff and Justin are volunteers.
Don't necessarily represent the legal views of the. No, but as it relates to, I appreciate you guys coming out. This was cool because we're friends.
Yes.
I love coming when I get to LA. It's been a year and a half since I've been in LA, right? Since the pandemic,
It's been a year and a half since you've had some good
Vaccinated.
Right.
Vaccinated.
right? Everyone's.
I don't know about Cliff.
You better be
ramen. Yeah,
vaccinated.
it's right here. It's right here. See the sticker? And it's
'cause I'm
been
like,
a while.
He's been wearing it the whole time.
Fully back.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long time since you've had really good ramen. I
Yes,
guess
that's
since you've
true.
been back in.
So
haven't
so
been to LA.
What is so nice is when I come out as I am, working at Sideshow and have a lot of responsibilities here. I was not able to come down to the studio at Scum and Villainy to do the show. So you guys brought the show here, and I thank you very much for doing that because there's lots of fun.
Yes.
And we could pull out the cave troll head.
yeah.
And it's always fun to talk old school Sideshow and old school. Can you see the troll? Yeah. It looked like this is on the laptop. It's like, there you go. But I'll tell you what. I mean, it was great to do this because I really appreciate it, and
Me too.
it gives me an opportunity to tell people about Sideshow Con, which is next week. Side.show/con. Just go there. You can get free reward points automatically. By the way, just for registering. It's free to register. It's a pretty cool event, and you'll want to participate. And I believe there's some Lord of the Rings stuff. So,
Thank you for the
shh, don't tell anybody.
Thank you. Oh, I didn't hear that. Thank you for the feedback, everyone in the live chat. Rory says we love us three together. We love us three together.
Yes.
We could be the three
If
caballeros
I didn't
any
live on
day.
another coast,
Rory also says Amazon are also the biggest financial vultures in the history of the world, and you think that they would forego capital gain for fidelity to a story, ... only if they were shut down by the estate could I see this happening.
That's what I'm saying.
And the estate made this decision, and that's how we're reporting this rumor. That's a rumor? All right.
That's a rumor.
We're reporting the rumor that the estate is not allowing any toys or merchandise. At least that means Amazon Studios will not be making video gambling machines based on their TV series. At least that.
We'll see.
Oh gosh, no, please don't let that happen. So, I guess it's almost time to sign out. And let us say sayonara to everybody who has joined us. It is a wonderful experience to be all the way out here in the hinterlands,
Oh wait, we have one way we have to end.
far away from Los
After you're
Angeles.
done. Tell
Yes. What's the other thing you got to do?
Well, there's a thing we do at Sideshow.
Oh yeah, what's the thing we do at Sideshow?
It's don't forget to let your geek side show. So when you are done, just say, and don't
Yes.
forget to let your geek
Yes,
side
so I will say good night and good luck to everyone, like I always do, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 5 o'clock Pacific time here on theonering.net. Torn Tuesday. I will be joined in the near future by other surprise guests. We'll have more rumors and publishable news, stuff that we can legit say is real instead of just rumors. But hey, we've had some great conversations today. Thank you, good sir, for being
Thank
with
you.
us today.
Appreciate
Boom.
it.
Thank you, Justin, for bringing the cameras and driving me all the way out here to Thousand Oaks. Please don't strand me here. Let me get back home
We're gonna
somehow.
go eat dinner. We're gonna go find some
Oh my
good Indian
gosh.
food.
So I want to say good night and good luck, or rather, buenos noches y buena suerte. And the very last thing before we sign off for real is
Don't forget
to let your geek side show. Ba-dum-bum. See you guys next week.
Just leave it on the troll.
Hey, buddy. Mwah. This is why I don't get a date on Friday night, because he's jealous.
Mwah.
This will scare children.
I gotta go bring him back upstairs. I wonder if everyone's still here. Are these the shirts?
Yeah.
Oh, sick, dude.
Okay.
All right.
So let's
Yeah,
sign
that
off.
was good. We want to do Indian food? You guys want Indian food?
Yeah, I'm thrilled with any.